Hey everyone, Josh here with Codelation. Monday evening, we had a request to walk through our budget. So I wanted to just give everyone a quick preview as to how we've set our budget and how we are working against it. So as I had talked in a prior video, we are funding this project through a state grant called Innovate ND, which is through the Department of Commerce for North Dakota. And what they have is essentially a four-phased program where the state will give you $40,000 in funds. If you bring $10,000 to the party, you need to be able to bring $5,000 through phase 1 through 3, or in kind, what they consider in kind, I'll put air quotes around that, basically sweat equity to match 4 of the 5,000. So you can actually get out of this with $6,000 of cash out of pocket, receive $40,000 of funding if you're able to get every single step of the way through. And Commerce thinks what you're doing has opportunity to bring revenue into the state from outside of the state, something they call primary sector certification. So that's how we're looking to fund our project, is solely through the Innovate ND program. And I have worked our budget down to about a 10% remaining. I've got a feeling we're going to go over in a couple of areas, but this is what I want to use as really my basis. So we are on day 23 right now, I believe. I have been documenting the path so far on just a little checklist here. And so day 23, November 4th, I'm going through the budget, and I've been trying to plan out a couple days into the future of what we may be talking about. So there's a sneak peek as to what we're doing next. But day 23 of 75, so we've got about 52 days left, which if you do the math, I don't have 12 weeks of development available for launch. But I wanted to budget a little bit extra if we had to push extra hard. I found 2 really great developers on Upwork that I'll be able to use. They're both Texas and Arizona area, and looking forward to engaging with them. I've decided against a third developer that would be handling kind of the project management and some of the JavaScript pieces. And I want to take a little bit of the project management duty on myself. I'm going to regret saying this 20, 30, 40 days into the future, but I'd like to be able to stretch our funds a little bit further. So I wanted to be able to give, so if we've got essentially 7 weeks until we want to get this out the door. So I've given myself an additional month plus of budget here, which I know we're going to use. It allows us the option to either flex really hard into development costs or have some ongoing after we launch. I'm also going to be using 3 months of a design service. I'm still picking out whether that's going to be Penji or Mini Pixels. Both have turned around good designs so far, so we're going to pick one of those 2 here soon. I've got I have paid for 1 month of Mini Pixels already, and I have a trial period for Penji coming up. So we'll be spending just a little bit more, an extra, probably, I think it was $500 extra in the design phase, if we don't cancel the Penji in their free trial window. As part of the Innovate plan, they require you to use Live Plan, which is a business planning software. It's a whopping $65 for the 6-month window, but I wanted to include that here. We're going to be going back to Upwork to find kind of a research assistant, somebody who can help us start finding resource partners, emails, things like that. I've allocated 150 hours at $15 an hour to help us get there. And then we're going to leverage copywriting to help craft messages, kind of a drip funnel to those people. Validation is a new one. I actually jumped on a couple pricing calls yesterday and today. I think I had the most expensive phone call of my life. Chris helped us break through a couple things. Britt had a great call with him yesterday, but I was paying $1,000 an hour to Chris, and it was absolutely worth the call. Britt's call was absolutely wonderful as well. So thank you both for the help on that. What we received out of that direction was being able to drive some scarcity and urgency. And it was a way I hadn't thought about trying to grow a freemium and paid product. So something we may be considering going forward. But I wanted to hold a bucket of money for some validation pieces so that if we needed to do a, like a lunch gathering or some sort of an event where I've got to fund something out of pocket, I've got it allocated. I've got $400 per month set aside for tools. These would be things like I'm already paying for out of the consultancy. So it would be like viral loops, GitHub, Jira, any of the tools that we're already using. I wanted to have a real, basically just a real representation that money's being spent. Whether that's going to ultimately go, as a reimbursable expense to the grant or not, we'll see. I don't think it will be. We'll probably have some other spend to take that place, but we are spending some money on tools. I wanted to earmark just a tiny bit of money for some video production. Now, this $1,500 would not let us get anyone to come in and shoot video, nor to really allow for much post-production. But what I wanted to do is something like what Brian's done with Growth Tools and shoot some real quick videos. I'll play it here for just a second. And I wanted to spend the funds on doing some, I wanted to play here, kind of some animations. I don't know if you can kind of see that, some overlays and animations. We have somebody in-house that can help with that. But I wanted to use our video setup that we already have at the office to be able to shoot. So $1,500 for some extra kind of sizzle on top of the videos that we'll be doing. We'll be able to do post-production in-house. So not a true representation. If we were to have this, shot over a series of videos, you could easily spend $5,000 or $10,000 on that. So we're trying to hack this the best way we can. I still see doing a paid ad spend of about $4,000. This is going to be user acquisition into the funnel, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn sponsored posts to try to capture emails and drive people to a landing page. We're going to have a few months of hosting fees that will come into view. We host our app at Heroku, which is a service that sits on top of Amazon Web Services. We may end up going directly to Amazon Web Services or DigitalOcean as some options to get this spun up, but we will have some hosting costs in this period of time. I'm allocating $2,100 for some legal work. I had a buddy of mine, Miguel, who runs Danielson Legal, give us a quote for a privacy policy and then also basically a release form. We wanted to make sure that if someone is giving their thoughts and opinions into the platform that the entrepreneur is protected so that they don't come back and say, hey, you stole my idea. And then finally, copywriting 10 weeks of this at $350 a week. So that'd be a $3,500 spend. We're about 3 weeks into that right now. So we've spent, and actually if I put some design in here, we're about $3-4 grand into our spend right now. So nothing terribly heavy. But we've gotten through our first, or going to hopefully get through our first phase and innovate. So our spend is just over $41,000. That remains a $5,000 budget to spend our full 46. So that's how we're looking to spend our funds. I know this is going to ebb and flow. So if we have a major change, I'll come through and do an update. I still have to get development on board and start moving through some of the marketing pieces. So we'll see where this all shakes out. But happy Monday, everybody. Thank you.